Thank you. All right, good evening everyone and welcome to tonight's council meeting. First of all, council would like to acknowledge the Wadawurrung people as the traditional owners of the lands, waterways and the skies which we meet today. We pay respect to their elders past, present and emerging. We acknowledge all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who are part of the Greater Geelong community today. Now this meeting is being broadcast on the internet and the recording of this meeting will be published on the council's website. Good evening, my name is Trent Sullivan and as the Mayor of the Greater Geelong Council I'll be chairing the meeting of council tonight, and thank you to everybody who is tuning in online or may be coming into the chamber. After council deals with some minor procedural items, tonight's meeting will focus on one report, being the preparation of the 22-23 annual report, draft financial statements and draft performance statement. We'll have our next monthly council meeting on Tuesday the 26th of September at 6 p.m. and keep an eye out on www.geelongaustralia.com.au/meetings for the next council meeting agenda. Thank you. All right, councillors, and apologies on leaves of absence. I ask that Councillor Wilkinson and Councillor Nelson be noted as apologies for tonight's meeting. There's none others to be noted, I imagine. Are there any conflicts of interest to be declared in relation to tonight's agenda item? If any do arise out of the meeting, please make them known. On to report section 2, we have one report, which is the preparation of the 22-23 annual report, draft financial statements and draft performance statement. I'm happy to move this, seconded by Deputy Mayor Aiken. Deputy Mayor Aiken, happy to second this? Thank you very much. All right, I will take the papers before us as read. This is a process we go through every year. The draft financial statements have been prepared by the City and preliminarily reviewed by VIGO. They were prepared in accordance with the Act, the local government regulations and the Australian accounting standards. The City's Audit and Risk Committee, as according to their charter, have reviewed the statements, and that took place on the 13th of September this year, and recommends that council approve in principle these statements subject to completion of all audit procedures. It is noted as well that the ARC would like to acknowledge the work done by the Chief Financial Officer and Coordinator Financial Reporting and other officers involved in completion of the financial report and performance standards for the year ended 30th of June, acknowledging difficult circumstances as well. So we do have here statements that show the City recorded an operating surplus of $4.6 million for 22-23. That represents a turnaround on the $8 million deficit forecast in early 23, but it does come with potential impacts on this financial year's result. But we'll note that whilst we have a surplus, it is slight compared to our overall budget, less than 1% margin of error, which is difficult for any organisation to manage and one that we must be financially prudent on going forwards. With that, I'm happy to pass over to Deputy Mayor Aiken to second.
I'll reserve my right, Mr. Mayor. Yep, thank you.
Deputy Mayor, any councillors wish to comment? I refer back to Deputy Mayor.
Mr. Mayor, yeah, look, this essentially is a statutory responsibility that we're doing tonight. VIGO, which is the Victorian Auditor General's Office, has reviewed our financial report for 22-23, and it is part of the process that the council actually has to bring that report back and endorse it in a transparent and open way. That's what we're actually doing tonight. The Mayor has touched on the financial aspects of it, and I think it really is important that we have to stress, people may look at the bottom line figure showing that it's a $4.6 million surplus. The reality is that our underlying operations are actually running at a deficit. The $4.6 million surplus actually came from very hard and tough decisions that the council group made in consultation with the former acting CEO, and that actually delivered $6.2 million worth of savings. And we did essentially receive additional financial income, grant income from the federal government as well too. So when you add those together, that's about $8 million. So if those activities had not occurred in the last 5 months of this financial year, would be announcing a deficit tonight as the council group. So I think it really is important in the communication, even members of the public that may be watching the meeting tonight, that The $4.6 million is actually an accounting surplus. It certainly isn't a reflection about the underlying financial position that council is operating. It still is extremely tough. Our budget actually does have about a $7.6 million challenge to the new CEO, and I'm pleased Ali Waste has already started that responsibility and looking at where we can actually deliver to make sure that we do have a budget surplus for 23-24. But the message I have to the community is that the council group is managing their finances responsibly, reasonably, and when it has come to make tough decisions, and some of those decisions were extremely tough, and we know that by the community feedback that we have received, but those decisions weren't made in isolation. They were made to actually ensure that we have financial sustainability, and that's what this report is showing us tonight. And Vargo have also acknowledged that as well too, in terms of their auditing of the council's financial position as well too, Mr. Mayor.
Indeed. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. To close out, Deputy Mayor is quite correct. Whilst we have a slight operating income, a lot of this is due to funds received earlier than expected. When we look at the forecast for the years ahead of us, this may very much counterbalance with funds when they are received in future financial years. This is definitely doesn't come through as a year of feast. This money must be spent wisely and must be part of our future sustainability projects as well. We all know costs are rising from a variety of things. Doing business is costing more for everybody, organisations, households, businesses, councils as well. This does not mean we can take the brakes of our financial sustainability measures. We must be moving forward. We must move forward with a plan that has been well thought out. And with that, I'm happy to put it to the vote. All those in favour? Thank you. All those against? The item is carried. I'd like to thank both our virtual and in-person gallery members this evening for the interest tonight. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, councillors. As there is no further agenda items, that concludes tonight's council meeting. I declare the meeting closed at 6:07 p.m. Thank you all.